You could call it a summer school of sorts on the lawns of Queen's Park today. Parents, teachers, and students gathered to protest the PC's move to scrap the current sex ed curriculum by reading it out loud. They want the government to keep the existing lesson plan that deals with consent, cyberbullying, and gender identity. Farah Morelli joins us live from Queen's Park. Now, and Farah, as we heard about this issue on the first day of the summer session there. It's now day 4, and it continues to dominate the conversation.
It really does, Dwight, and it continues to dominate the debate as well that's been happening during question period every day since Monday. The PC's again facing tough questions from the opposition about this issue. But the one thing I heard over and over again from people at this rally today was, what are teachers actually going to be teaching to their students about sex education this fall? We know, according to the government, that it's going to be going back to this 1998 curriculum, but that there will be some flexibility for addressing those other issues that you mentioned. But what resources are there actually going to be for teachers? We tried to get the answer to that question today, but for the third straight day, the Minister of Education refused to speak to us.
A clear yes is a signal of consent. A response of no, an uncertain response or silence needs to be understood as no consent.
12-year-old Molly Shera is starting grade 7 this fall. Standing in front of dozens of people at Queen's Park today, she read the sex education curriculum she was supposed to be taught this year out loud.
It's important to learn it for sure, because when I became a teenager, it can be pressuring, lots of peer pressure when you become a teenager, and it's important to learn that now, so eventually you can go about your day without worry or feeling pressured to do anything you don't want to do.
Starting September, the PC say teachers will be going back to the 1998 curriculum. It doesn't talk about issues like consent or cyberbullying.
I realized that I was bisexual when I was 11 years old.
It also doesn't offer any lessons on gender identity. That's what brought actor and comedian Colin Mochrie, his wife and his daughter Kinley to today's protest.
Regardless, actually, of whether you're a queer person or not, it's just getting a better understanding of yourself and your boundaries and what you like and who you are.
It's a major part of our life and our society, and it's time for us to stop the giggling, to get the information out.
The PC government says there will be flexibility on issues such as gender, consent, and cyberbullying this fall, but hasn't explained how teachers can address those issues in the classroom. And for the third straight day, Education Minister Lisa Thompson ducked out after question period, not taking questions from reporters at all. Her only media appearance since Monday on the Ford Nation Facebook page.
We're going to hit the pause button. And as we hit the pause button, students this fall will be learning the sex ed curriculum that was being taught in 2014.
With nothing but silence from the Minister of Education, school teachers like Philip Pace say they remain in limbo. He teaches health and physical education.
I'm going to have to face a classroom full of grade 6s who know more than is expressed in the 1998 curriculum. And they're going to have questions that they want to talk about because they're curious. When the government is whiffle-waffling on what it's going to be, oh, well, there's flexibility, and if you want to teach it, you can teach it, and if you don't, then you don't need to. And I think that's a really scary situation to be in when there's not strong leadership.
Definitely sounds like there's still some uncertainty out there, Farah. What's the TDSB saying about this for us?
Well, Dwight, I did speak to the TDSB today, and what they said is, as you would imagine, they're receiving a lot of phone calls and emails from not just teachers, but parents and students wondering what's going to be happening. And what they said is that they've heard they're supposed to be going back to this 1998 curriculum through the media and otherwise, but the ministry hasn't officially contacted them or given them any information that includes any information about any resources that their teachers might need to talk about these other issues that aren't in the 1998 curriculum. So it's kind of a holding pattern that the Toronto District School Board is in at the moment. These are all questions that need to be answered by the Minister of Education, and as you saw there, she was nowhere to be found today. We put in a request to her spokesperson again today, and we were told that she wouldn't be able to accommodate a request for an interview. So if I had to guess, Dwight, we're going to be starting another week off at Queen's Park on Monday with this issue at the top of the debates during question period.
We'll be there still asking about it. Thank you, Farah.